Hello, welcome back, friends. Hi, I'm Jess. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been around before, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. This is a continuation of our look ahead at the first 3 months, quarter one of 2026. This is going to be for Cancer placements. So if your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or North Node is in Cancer, if you have 3 or more other placements in Cancer, which is referred to as a stellium, or if you have significant 4th house placements. Is that right? Yeah. Then this could be for you. The 4th house is ruled by Cancer. Just takes me a second to look at the wheel in my mind. So this could be for you. These readings are general and collective readings, meaning that a number of people see them, so not every part of the message is likely to hit for everybody. So if the majority of it feels resonant for you, if you get the chill bumps or just all, wow, this all really is making sense to me, then great. If there's a few that don't, that's fine, leave those for somebody else. If the majority of the reading doesn't hit for you, then this is probably not your reading. You might just be drawn to me as a reader, so you're welcome to check. I have a pretty decent backlog of other videos. You can check your other placements. You could check for, I have some that are done around different lunar transits. Tomorrow's a full moon in Cancer. There are previous full moon readings. Anyways, lots out there. If you're interested in booking a personal reading, so that way you know for sure that all of the messages are for you, you can only do that through my website, which is sealedinthestars.com. Tomorrow is the last day to get 50% off anything in my shop. Products, readings, candles, anything. Okay, I think that's all of the important intro stuff to do. We are going to pull some tarot and oracle. I'm going to pull one each for the overall energy for the next 3 months, and then one each for January, for February, and for March. After that, I'll pull some more tarot and we'll look at what is the best use of your energy right now, like what's the most aligned use, where should you focus to kind of get the most bang for your buck on where you put your energy. We'll look at some potential good things that are coming your way and some potential challenges just to be on the lookout for. And then we'll finish up with, I'm going to pull for you from, this is the Green Witch's Oracle. And we'll do one of those at the end. I'm using the same oracle decks for all of the readings. So the Green Witches is one, and then the other one is this, the Universe Has Your Back oracle deck. If this is the first time you're seeing me, I like to show the back of the cards. And then I'm using a different tarot deck for every sign. You guys, I am using the Beauty of Horror, or Horror, depending on where you're from and how you like to say it. Okay. All right, let's dig into it. I do always do like a really thorough shuffling and cleansing before I start recording. Let's get one card for the overall energy for the next 3 months for Cancer placements. And then one for January. One for, if that's it, then that's it. One for February. Thank you. And then one for March. a better desk than my knee. It's not even really a desk. It's secretly a dresser. But it works perfectly in my tiny little witchy lair that I have here. All right, let's do one card for the overall for the next 3 months. And then one for January. Oh, okay. That wasn't necessary. Okay. January. Okay. February, please. Just one. Thank you. And one for March. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, Cancers, your guides are spicy today, or maybe spicy all the time. I don't know. Okay. Be nice to us, Spirit. Be nice to us. Thank you. Okay. I don't think I said this yet. The tarot is going to be the overall energy that you can expect for the month or the time period. And then the oracle card is going to be like, what's the best approach for you to most smoothly navigate that energy? All right, so overall for the next 3 months, ooh, Wheel of Fortune. A really interesting card to get at the turn of the year. So the Wheel of Fortune comes from the major arcana portion of the tarot, which has to do with, it's kind of the bigger picture part of our lives. It's the part of our life that deals with like the spiritual lessons that we're here to learn, with things that we would consider like fate or destiny or our overall purpose. It's like the big things is what the majors represent. And within that, the Wheel of Fortune is a card that reminds us that things are constantly changing and that they're constantly in motion, and that the only constant is change. Pardon me one second. I've been sick for like a month and it's almost gone, but it just lingers just enough to be aggravating in this sense, but I'm not gonna let it stop me, so hopefully it doesn't bother you. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. It's kind of the what goes up must come down, what goes down must come back up idea, because nothing ever stays stagnant. So if you're in a place right now where things aren't really going how you would like them to go in any particular area, you know, maybe things are going great in one area and not so great in another, but whatever it is that you're focused on, if things are not where you would like them to be, the Wheel of Fortune is here to remind you and to inspire you and to encourage you that things are changing, that they're changing right now, and that over the next 3 months that you're going to start to see this energy of change. Whichever way you're feeling right now, that is what the wheel means. So things are changing, they're in motion. You're going to start to see the evidence of that change reflected externally for you, because you've been doing a lot of inner work. Yeah, definitely. They're giving you like a yay, but not in a sarcastic asshole way, like genuinely like it's like hang on, this is a funny picture. Think like a tiny bleacher, a bleachers full of but small many angelic spirits that are all like, yay, you've really been doing the work. Like, you've really been showing up for yourself in a lot of ways. And some of those ways are, I don't want to say easy, but come naturally to you and you thrive. Like just being disciplined, for instance. in certain ways, like maybe you're very disciplined about your routine or what you eat or how you get to the gym, and how you take care of yourself, how you care for your space, like how you show up at work. You know, those things maybe you've been very disciplined at, and that's great, and you do deserve like some like good job for that, but that's not really what they're saying. They're focusing more on the parts that have been harder for you that you've been working on deliberately, like emotional vulnerability and, you know, having a more open perspective, really trying to put yourself in other people's shoes and be more open-minded and more empathetic. And you've really been showing up in those ways, and that's what they are complimenting you on. Anyways, that was sort of a message within the message. Let's get back to, if things aren't going how you want them to, they're changing. And if things are going how you want them to, yes, those things are also going to change. Now, the message is just slightly different, right? Because if things aren't going great, then it's really like a message of hopefulness and inspiration, like, hey, don't worry, things are changing, it's going to get better. The hardest part is over and change is on the horizon. But if things are going really, really great for you right now, it is a reminder for you to savor these moments, to appreciate them, to what's the word? Capitalize. Ooh, yeah, to like make the most of it, you know, to make sure that you are capitalizing on the momentum and the energy that you have right now, and that you're also taking the time to really, really appreciate that, like, man, things are really good right now. One, because gratitude brings so much more of things to be grateful for, and the universe likes that stuff. Okay, what is the best approach for you for the next 3 months to how to handle this changing tide? I'm fucking dead. Stop. I wasn't even going to mention it. I mentioned it in the last one and it didn't even show up, and I wasn't even going to mention it in this one. Okay, like I said, I've used this deck for all of the readings. You might not know this yet, in case you don't see all of my, like, if you don't see my stories on Instagram. I started recording these like a week ago, and on Monday I recorded several, and a couple of them didn't save. Like, I recorded 2 45-minute long readings, and for whatever reason, my phone didn't save them. Then I re-recorded those readings yesterday. And I have done, I believe, 7. I think I've done 7 readings now. 2 of them having to have been redone. And in 6 of the readings, this card came out. So now this will be reading number 8, and this card has come out in 7 of the 8 readings. There's nothing different about it. It's not it's not like bent or anything. And I shuffle the deck, especially now that this keeps happening. I've shuffled the deck so well. It did not come out in the Gemini reading. The second Gemini reading. The first Gemini reading, it did come. But when I re-recorded the Gemini reading, it wasn't in. Anyway, show you the card. Yes. So, the best approach for you, and apparently everybody else, because I think that's kind of where we're at right now, is when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. There's like 50 plus cards in this deck. Seven out of 8. The universe is really sorry. This is kind of a dramatic reaction. If you haven't seen any of the other readings, like if you haven't watched any of the other readings and seen sort of the progression of how hilarious this is, that it keeps coming out. Okay. Let's move on. So yes, as you're dealing with all of this change, just surrender more, like surrender to your trust in the universe to take care of you, whatever version of source or a higher power is for you. Trust in yourself. If you are not somebody that feels comfortable being in connection with a divine source, then, you know, trust your higher self. Surrender to that. Surrender to the process. Just keep surrendering. All right, let's talk about January. Ooh, yay. All right, I love this. You got King of Pentacles. Pentacles as a suit is represented by earth energy, so very grounded, very stable. Kings are very mature, and the suit of Pentacles deals with our material values. Well, I like to refer to it as things we value. So it's both like our material plane. I don't know why I'm struggling with that right now, but it represents our resources, our finances, and then also our like stability, our family foundations and structures, and the ways that we feel secure. So Cups as a suit talks about our like emotional well-being, and Pentacles has to do with our like physical and material well-being. And the King of Pentacles is very like grounded, mature energy, very thoughtful approach to how they're doing things. So it's also an energy of prosperity and somebody being good with money. So it feels like there's going to be some financial things that go your way in January, which is really great. And that you'll feel really like confident about how this plays out. This could be something like if you're somebody that invests, you know, getting the intuitive nudge to purchase a particular stock or what have you, and then, you know, making profit off of that. It could be something like that. It could be just coming across like a good business investment. It could be deciding to do the thing with your bank where every time you use your debit card, it puts $1 in your savings account, or the Acorns thing. It could be anything that is moving your they're giving a lot of examples, but it's a positive forward motion in your like financial and material sector. So that's really good. All right, what's the energy for like how should you best approach January? Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. That's aligned with the King energy, because the Kings are, especially Cups and Pentacles, which are water and earth energy, they're very nurturing and what's the word I'm looking for? Well, the King of Pentacles is also known for being generous. What was the word? Yeah, it's kind of more of a holistic approach, meaning that they care more about the good of the collective than they do of just their self. So very having an attitude where you are kind of looking out for the collective well-being is going to serve you really well. In fact, that could be the thing that gives you the ideas. Like you could have an idea of how to help serve some portion of humanity. That sounds lofty, but it doesn't have to be. Like you could just have a great idea of how to help people, and then you could develop that, and then that turns into a business, and then you make more money. So yeah. So be outwardly focused in terms of looking for opportunities. What can I do to help other people? Where do you see a need? How can you help fill that? Okay, let's move on. February. All right, Cancers. Love this for you. You got the 9 of Cups. Is this the 9? Yeah. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. So February is going to be great. The 9 of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. So I mentioned a moment ago that cups are the suit that have to do with our emotional nature. Earlier when I brought up the Wheel of Fortune, I mentioned the major arcana. Both the Pentacles and Cups are suits from the minor arcana, whereas the majors has to do with like big picture parts of our life. The minors rules over our day-to-day life collectively. And there's 4 different suits, and each of those suits represents a different area of our life. So we talked about Pentacles. Now I'll talk a little more about Cups. So yeah, hang on. This suit represents our emotional well-being, our emotional landscape. It is our connection to other people, so it represents relationships, romantic and platonic. It also represents being connected to your intuition and being connected to the divine. So channeling, like your intuition and mysticism, those things are really governed kind of by the Suit of Cups. The 9 of Cups, though, like I said, is called the wish fulfillment card. This is getting everything that you're wishing for. So I heard, so be really specific about what you're wishing for. Even here, and this is still like January's card, and I'll turn it to February's in a second, but instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good of all. It's like, instead of wishing for, like if you are single and you're looking for a relationship, instead of wishing for this particular person, maybe you find somebody attractive, instead of being like, oh, let me wish for that person, instead focus your intention on attracting the aligned partnership that you're looking for. What kind of qualities does this person have? How do they make you feel? Those kinds of things, instead of trying to attract a particular person. And that will get you your wishes fulfilled. Yeah, this is really great energy. Okay, how should you approach February? Yeah, for sure. Okay, so to go with this 9 of Cups, you have the presence of love will always cast out fear. Yeah, well, you'll have lots of reasons to feel love and joyful when things are going your way, right? And then when you're feeling good, it is a lot harder for fear or anxiety to kind of creep its way in. So yeah, so far a bang off start to the year for you. I love that. All right, well, let's talk about March. All right, March, we have 7 of Swords. Well, don't be nervous. There's no bad cards. There are ones that we're more or less excited to see. The 7 of Swords is kind of an interesting card. It can get a bit of a bum rap, just like the poor Tower, even the poor 3 of Swords. But the 7 of Swords can represent a few things. It can, and is most often kind of paired with manipulation and deception. Now, not all of that is malicious. Sometimes something as simple as like somebody not confessing their feelings, like that could come up as being deceptive because they're not being truthful, but it's not harmful or malicious, just like if somebody has a crush on you and they're not saying. It's like that kind of thing. It could be something like that, or it could be outright deception or manipulation or conflict that could come up in another context. So it'll be interesting to see, but there will be something that comes up in March that's going to create a little bit of friction. And the good news is that you'll be able to figure out how to navigate around this. And the best way to handle that is to remember that there is a stream of love supporting my dreams. So for instance, okay, the example that they're giving me right now is for somebody, this could be like a work situation. There might be, let's just say there might be somebody at work and that comes up in March, they try some fuckery, they try something underhanded, or they try to throw you under the bus, or they do something that's manipulative. You'll be able to spot it a mile away, which is going to be really great. And the thing that's going to be really helpful and grounding for you is to remember that nothing they do is going to get in the way of what you're doing, in the way of your dreams, of your path. The reason that's important to remember is that when you know that like you're protected, like nothing bad can happen to you because you're taking care of your side of the street. So you have nothing to worry about. So when somebody tries something, if you're confident and solid and grounded in love and protection and peace, then you're not going to get bent out of shape. You're just going to be like, okay, I see right through you, and I'm going to deal with that, but I'm going to deal with it without having to like come out of my own character. It's just going to make the other person, it's just going to make it so clear that they are in the wrong in this situation to anybody else that's going to be involved, which is kind of like they're making a play. Again, this is just an example. It's like somebody could try to make you look bad to the boss, but you're not going to take the bait because you know that there is a stream of love protecting your dreams, so you're not going to take that bait, and then it's just going to be that much more evident that they were trying to manipulate you into some kind of situation, for their own benefit. Okay, that's a very specific, it's going to be a very specific example or reference for somebody. But yeah, for others of you, you just have to kind of like be on the lookout for how that shows up. But again, whatever it is, don't let it throw you off of your, don't let it throw you off your game. Like, you got this, you are so protected. Okay, let's look at some of the other stuff now. What is the best use, like where should you focus? And like what's the best use of your energy right now to make the most out of like the energies that are coming your way for these 3 months? What's the best use of energy for Cancers? Goodness. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. My exclamation was because you got 3 majors. I don't even think I said about that part earlier. Thank you, Spirit. When you're doing a reading, if most of the cards in the reading are from the major arcana, then it indicates a time when there's big shifts happening in your life. And it's really more that the universe is moving you through these big shifts or these big integrations in your life. When most of the cards are from the minors, it indicates that this is a time in your life when you have a lot of control over what's happening. My favorite analogy for this is to think of the river of life sometimes the current is moving very, very fast. That's the majors. And when you put your canoe in the water, you're not even going to try to paddle upstream because there's no point in it. The best thing you can do is figure out how to navigate the current as it's flowing to take you where you want to go and to keep you safe. So it's more about working with the energies that are there already, because this is the energy that's coming at you. You can't do anything to shift it. So how can you best work with it and respond to make it through this? If the cards are minors, then the river is calm, right? There's no current. And if you don't put in any effort, if you don't take any action, you're not going anywhere. But also the action you take is really significant on where you're going. So that's very helpful. Okay. I think somebody turned the heat up downstairs and now it is kind of warm in here. Okay, let's talk about your cards and then I will explain. Okay, first we have the World. We have an older house and gas heat, and it's very efficient, but then when it's on it makes the upstairs kind of stuffy, so sorry. Might need to drink a little more for the next few minutes. You got the Devil. Do you guys need to know that? I don't know, I guess so. I felt compelled to tell you. The Moon. I'm a very transparent person. And also Knight of Pentacles. Okay, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Four of Cups. Alright, so what is the best use, because that's the question we asked, what is the best use of your focus, your aligned energy right now? And that is going to be the World and integrating the lessons that you've been learning. So we are still closing out a really big cycle. Technically, I am, not technically, I mean, I guess technically. As I'm recording this is January 2nd, 2026. And even though we turned the Gregorian calendar, and that now when you add up the digits, it becomes a 1 year instead of a 9, 2025 versus 2026, 2 plus 2 plus 6. That shift doesn't actually happen until February, I think it's 17th, which is when the Lunar New Year shifts. So, and that's when it becomes either a 10 or a 1, depending on if you're talking different numerology systems. But it's going to shift into the year of the Fire Horse. We are still currently in a number 9 year, and I believe it is the Wood Snake. So we are, 9s are endings, closings, shedding. There's so much that we're shedding and wrapping up and leaving behind. You will see the evidence of that after the spring equinox, which is, you know, that's the energetic new year when things start to, you know, bloom anew. However, you are still in this wrapping up period for the next 2 months-ish, and that's the best use of your focus is, what have I learned in the last 9 years? What have I, like, in what ways have I grown? What things have I left already behind? What things could serve me to leave behind? And then really looking at how you've grown in response to, like, big things that have happened. You know, have you learned the lesson? Are you repeating the same lesson disguised as new people or new things or new places? That's the best use of your energy, is working on that kind of stuff. Because you are also working through this energy here, the Devil and the Moon. These both represent different parts of our subconscious underneath inner layer. The devil is the ways that we keep ourselves small. These cover limiting beliefs, so like negative self-talk. These could be addictive behaviors, just things that don't serve you, and they are chains that we keep on ourselves. And you can't see that very well in this particular card, but in the traditional depiction of this card, there's two figures and they have chains on, but they're very loose. Like they could take them off and leave. They're not actually trapped. It's just that we trap ourselves sometimes. So working through, you're going to be like working through the lessons of these things that don't serve you any longer, that you're leaving behind, and also bringing more of your shadows and integrating more of your shadow self and bringing that into, yeah, thank you, perfect. Sorry. That really is going to be integrating more into yourself. So the world being integration, the moon are our, it's like our subconscious, our shadows, the things that it's not just like things that are secret, like, ooh, your secrets. Although there's some of that. But it's a lot of the things that we keep hidden from ourselves in terms of looking at those underneath parts of you. So this means trying, examining like, why do I react to certain situations like that? Maybe it's because this thing happened to me when I was a kid and I never really processed that trauma or grief or what have you. It's that kind of stuff. So it's like these things are coming up because you're doing the work, right? What did they say in the beginning? You're doing the work. So this is the shit that's coming up and you're dealing with that. And just keep focusing on that because you are wrapping that up. The Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady. Slow and steady is the kind of the motto of the Knight of Pentacles. Knights are cards of action, but this one is the slowest horse. Like they're just kind of standing there. They're not actually like, but they're going. It's just slow and steady progress, and that is, that's confirmation. You're doing. They're like, you're doing great. Even if you don't see how significant the transformation is going to be yet, just keep showing up. Just keep showing up for yourself. Just keep putting in the work. Just keep poking away at, things that bother you until you can come to peace about them. The Four of Cups. Sorry. Excuse me. The Four of Cups is a card that reminds us to be really mindful of our perspective. So, because he's a zombie, he actually is looking at this cup. But in the traditional depiction, the figure is just looking at these cups here, and that they're empty. And they have kind of this like, bummed out expression. And because they're so focused on what they don't have or what they've lost or what's not there, they don't see this hand that's coming towards them that's offering them new opportunities, right? New opportunities for connection, for love, to feel connected and supported emotionally, to feel connected to spirit. And so it's a gentle reminder that you have to be in control of what you're looking at in terms of where you focus your attention. If you spend your time focusing on the things that aren't working for you or what you don't have or what you don't like about people, you're just going to multiply that. Instead, shift your perspective, look around for things, again, mirroring the beginning of the reading, things to be grateful for, right? Like shift your perspective to what is coming in, what is going your way, and what you do have, what makes you happy. That will be really significant for you, and They're like a really good use of your time these next few months. Okay, excuse me. Every time I think I'm getting a little better. All right, what good stuff is coming your way? Just one, please. Thank you. Ooh, awesome. All right, we have the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is, it's one of the fastest moving cards. I know, I guess that depends on who you ask, but this card and the Chariot are considered the fastest moving cards in the deck energetically, and so this card is all about forward progress and specifically that it is unobstructed. So that's what's going to be going great your way these next few months. There's nothing going to be in your way. Nothing's going to be stopping you. Don't stop me now. That's what I heard. All right, what are potential challenges to be on the lookout for? Potential challenges. No, 3 is too many. Just 1, please. I'll take that one, thank you. This card's a stalker card too. This card came out in both readings yesterday, but in that position about like what's going well. And this this coming out in a challenging position. Sorry, I should show you. Queen of Cups. Let's look. Sometimes for context, like in terms of something that is generally considered a really supportive and positive card when it comes out in regards to asking a question that's kind of a challenging position, sometimes I will just look it up because there's nothing wrong with looking up information. Knowledge is power, people. Can't remember everything all the time. Yes, okay, perfect, thank you. Yeah, they're like, just go look, we'll point out which one we want you to talk about, and that's very helpful. Okay, so Queen of Cups, in terms of potential challenges, this could represent, so Queen of Cups, when is pick a sentence and finish it, Jessica. Sorry, I get pulled in 2 different directions sometimes, really hard. The Queen of Cups is a very emotionally mature card. She's very like nurturing and kind and empathetic and caring. And so in a challenging way, it's cautioning you to be mindful of not being emotionally immature. So be mindful of how you are coming to the table, how you're reacting, how are you showing up emotionally. Also, well, there's definitely another one. What was the other one? There's another one that really stood out. Oh yeah, thank you. And also, she's super intuitive. So the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess and the Empress are the cards that most represent our intuition and our connection to it. And so, yeah, make sure that you are really listening to your intuition and not your ego. Your intuition speaks in statements and quietly. It whispers statements, and your ego screams questions and anxiety. So make sure that you are really listening to your actual intuition, your connection to higher source. Okay. Yeah, and don't be, let's try that a little nicer. Be mindful to not be emotionally closed off with other people. If other people are like trying to support you or trying to care for you, you know, even if they're doing it imperfectly, be mindful of how you are with them. Don't be a dick. Spirit said don't be a dick. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, let's pull one of these. One of these, the Green Witch's Oracle cards. Just whatever last message, Cancer, for Cancers. Which one, Spirit? Just one, please. Thank you. Okay, you got time, like the herb time, presence, and self-awareness. Where is it? Okay, time. With its sharp scent, time tells you to be in the moment and to pay attention to the state of your mind. Four of Cups. Sorry, to the state of your mind, body, and spirit. In Green Witchcraft, we rely on herbs to help ground us. The Time card is asking you to be present and self-aware. It may be time to take an inventory of how you feel. With all the pretense, wishful thinking, and illusion stripped away, evaluate yourself honestly. Take note of areas that sting or hurt and what feels good. Just finish it first. Try not to judge your feelings, just offer them love and understanding, and remember that feelings are not actions. It takes strength and effort to stay present in your life. There's a reflection question that says, have you been fully present in your daily life? And if not, what steps can you take to change this? Sorry, I was going to say, yeah, so they really like to send kind of repeating messages so that you get the confirmation that, like, yes, that's what they meant. And just saying there about taking inventory of, like, what feels good, take notes of areas that sting or hurt. And that's what I was bringing up a little while ago with the Devil and the Moon, about poking and prodding at that stuff and figuring out how to heal it. So yay, I love that confirmation for you. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it. Do feel free to check your other placements, and if you found any of this to be helpful, please consider sharing. Sharing does make a really, really impactful difference for me. I'm such a small creator, so any of those really help if you feel so moved. And if you ever have any questions about booking, you can always message me or email me before booking, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. Okay, have a good night or day whenever you get this. I'll see you later.